If you're watching this during OC be sure to check out my previous video on OC to learn what it is and see how you can participate. Hi, and welcome to the first video of OC If you're not watching this during OC a long time ago, humans and animals lived together in harmony. But one day, in different parts of the world, different people discovered colorful/powerful crystals. Curious, they decided to mine the crystals and take them back for examination. As soon as the people touched the crystals, they turned into anthropomorphic animals. It seems as though these crystals are very powerful. Too powerful. This led the people who touched the crystals to lose control over their minds, anger and confusion taking over. This led the people to begin destroying everything in their path. Those who did not touch the crystals screamed and ran away in fear, warning others along the way. Very quickly, the news reached the public, and soon the whole world turned into chaos. Eventually, the military/higher-ups of various countries were able to calm things down and capture all the transformed people. These people were then sentenced to death for causing way too much destruction. Then everything went back to normal. The end. Or so they thought. Because those people touched the crystals, all of them ended up activating, which through some unknown magic caused a new mutation to form in some developing babies. And that's how today's hybrids and anthropomorphic animals came to be. Alright, I think that's enough yapping about the history part of my world. I have absolutely no idea as to whether or not I did a good job explaining the lore, as a lot of it is still in development. Like a lot of other aspects. I think in terms of this history aspect, this is what the lore of it will be. I really hope future me doesn't make any major changes in the future. So future me, if you're watching this, I'm just telling you, please do not change the core of the story that much. Because I, as of right now, think that the history of the story is already solidified. I just need to work on the rest of the aspects. Please, future me, I'm begging you. Anyways, now it's time to talk about the class system/important roles of this world. This is very important because this determines what you can and cannot do. So, the class system goes like this. Humans are at the top, hybrids are in the middle, and anthropomorphic animals are at the bottom. Now, because the incident involved anthropomorphic animals, they are at the very bottom of the class system, making it extremely hard for them to live a normal human life. Hybrids have a slightly easier time as they can either hide their animal features or they can pass as a furry. I know that doesn't technically count as a furry, but most people wouldn't know the difference anyway. Because of the whole transforming incident and whatnot, humans start to fear these monsters, as they like to call them. So, out of retaliation, because they thought the people in the incident attacked on purpose, more rules began to be added to restrict hybrids and the anthropomorphic animals from accessing normal everyday things such as shopping, education, etc. They also began to harass and hurt any hybrids and anthropomorphic animals that they came across. Any monster that was caught was sent to these special jails made just for them. These jails were oftentimes in very poor condition, with very heavy surveillance. The people in these jails were often also sent outside to do loads of work, leading many of them to contract illnesses and some even oofing. If they weren't sent to these jails, they were sent to labs to be tested on. I think you know where this goes from there. I don't think I'm a big enough of a channel to be able to say the details. Now, because there isn't a true safe place that hybrids and anthropomorphic animals can go to, they try to find a place for them to stay. To their left, when the boom of hybrids and anthropomorphic animals happened, another dimension opened up, allowing both hybrids and anthropomorphic animals to enter and live there in peace. As of right now, a lot of hybrids and anthropomorphic animals live in this new dimension. There are still some people that live on Earth, but not as much as it was at the beginning. What else am I missing? Oh, yes, along with the new dimension and the boom of hybrids and anthropomorphic animals, the crystals also granted everyone superpowers. The total percentage of people with superpowers is not that high, maybe at most about 25%. Both hybrids and anthropomorphic animals also have a much higher chance of getting these superpowers than humans, but that does not mean that their chances are high. Of course, like with any superpower-related story, there's always evil that comes out of it. In my OC World's case, a main evil group rises up, along with a bunch of other smaller groups. To counter the evil, some anthropomorphic animals and hybrids decided to band together and form a new group. I decided to name this group the 12 to represent as many animals as possible, but also to represent the 12 crystals. So, what is the 12's goal? The 12's goal is to find all 12 crystals, and A, find out what the f*** they do, B. Protect them from evil, and C. Use them to bring unity to the world and find out the real truth behind the incident that happened. Oh yeah, as of recording this video right now, I just want to tell you that it is so hot right now. I am literally sweating as I'm recording this video. Alright, so now that I practically yapped about pretty much everything I need to tell you, I think what's supposed to be kind of the main story of my OCs world. And this is where my OCs play a role. I know I haven't talked about them at all on this channel, nor have I shown them at all on this channel. Maybe just like a couple of tad snippets here and there. But because it's OCtember, I am going to be making videos on all 4 of the OCs that I have made so far. I'll try my best to post it during OCtember. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to do it on time though. Anyways, the 4 OCs that I created are some of the main characters of my story. So essentially, they all have their own separate goals, but they also want to help me collect all 12 crystals to help bring unity to the world together. Now obviously, they know that the crystals are very powerful. However, they, along with pretty much any other person that knows about the 12 crystals, don't know that the 12 have no idea what the f*** the crystals are supposed to do. It's now time to talk about the geography of my OCs world. Now obviously I already mentioned that planet Earth exists, and because of this, none of the geography on planet Earth has changed, meaning all the countries and all the continents are pretty much the same. The only exception is that some of the smaller countries decided to band together and form a bigger country, just so that traveling can be a little bit easier. They also decided to band together to strengthen their military as well. As for the geography in the new dimension, I can't show you that yet because of 2 reasons. First of all, spoilers, and secondly, I haven't exactly finished the map yet, so the rough estimate I can give you is that there are a bunch of big continents, just like Earth, all across the map. And similar to Earth, each area is divided by species. There are a couple outliers though, and this has to do with where they live in. For example, some species will get their own area. For example, all the dogs get to live in one area altogether. In other cases, some species of animals that aren't meant to be together are put in a group together. And the reason they live in the same area is because both animals' climates are pretty similar to each other. This will also really help me when it comes to making OCs because there is no way I can make different little areas for every single species of animal. It is way too time consuming and I get confused in the process. Okay, I think I talked about everything I need to talk about in regards to my OCs world, but I do want to answer a couple of questions that some people might have. The first question is, will you ever make a comic or written story about your OCs and their world? And the answer to that is no. I don't have any plans on making a full-on written story or a full-on comic or webtoon. However, I do have plans on making smaller animatics or maybe tinier comics that I could kind of show off my OCs and their world. The reason I don't want to make a webtoon or a full written story is because my writing skills are not the best. There's a reason why I'm an artist, guys. And look, although I really do love lore building and creating stories for my characters, I feel like writing a full story or a webtoon is just a bit too overwhelming for me. And not only that, if you are going to make a full written story or comic, you do have to be fully committed to the actual story. And I don't really want to become that type of person where I'm like, oh, I promise there's going to be updates to my story, and then proceed to never update for like the next 5 years. I feel like that's a big issue when it comes to written stories and comics, is that there will be a person that'll promise their fans, hey, I'm making a story about my OCs in their world. Are you guys ready? And everyone's like, yeah! And then they'll publish a couple of chapters, people really like the story, and then the author proceeds to disappear from the internet and never post again. And then after maybe 5 to 10 years, they'll finally come back and say, oh yeah, I kind of decided not to continue with the project, to which, honestly, you should have just told us maybe a couple months in that you're not going to continue, instead of hyping this project like this is the best thing in the entire world. But I don't know, maybe that's just me. Or instead of saying that this is going to be the best thing in the entire world, just update your viewers with smaller updates, because that way, when you eventually decide, oh, maybe I'm not going to continue with the project anymore, they're not going to be as heartbroken. Versus telling your viewers it's the best project in the entire world, and then having 50 different videos made on you after you decide to tell them that you're not going to be continuing with your project anymore 5 years later. Anyways, that's a bit of a side tangent, but thank you guys so much for watching this video. Unfortunately, this is the end of the video because that's all I have to say about my OCs world, but And not only that, I don't think I can continue this video any further because the heat is currently killing me right now. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.